Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Greg Nacarelli. I will be reviewing the ILIA, which is Therium's microbiome test. This test will provide strain level resolution. This allows us to look at the entire microbial ecosystem and allows us to do pathway analysis to capture the functions of the microbiome. This test looks at 15 key analytical domains. This includes things such as overall microbiome, resilience, archaeome, viriome, as pathogens and parasites, as well as functional domains such as digestion, nutrient generation, inflammation, and gut barrier integrity. This test uses shotgun metagenomic sequencing, and this is what allows us to get to the strain level and identify core microbiome functions. And this type of technology is being utilized in many different prestigious clinics around the world. So by doing pathway analysis, it allows us to elucidate the functions of our microbiome. And so within bacterial strains, there are many different genes. And so we could see the function by looking at the genetics that are present, and then we could create maps in terms of interconnected function. And so by doing this, we will see how our microbiome is contributing to host health. And the ILIA report will provide insights to this regarding microbiome host interactions. And this allows us to do more targeted and effective health interventions. This is a stool sample. So from when you order the kit, you will receive it in about 2 weeks. For our protocol generation, we do something called digital twinning. This is where a digital replica of the patient is created based on their survey information and their microbiome results. We have a database of over 1,500 interventions, which include various dietary, lifestyle, and supplements interventions. And we will simulate to see, of the interventions selected, how can we most favorably shift the microbiome health parameters that we have assessed to create an overall personalized protocol for the individual to optimize their gut health. Comparing our test with other microbiome tests on the market, it is supreme in that we get down to the strain level of identification. We perform metabolic pathway analysis, and this is the function of our microbiome. We look at full pathogens and parasites. We use AI to inform our analytical domains, and we utilize something called a digital twin health protocol, which I just mentioned, which no other gut testing company on the market is using. We're not just looking to sell supplements. We will recommend supplements, but we don't sell supplements ourselves. And we will create retest recommendations for individuals to figure out, when do I do a retest of my microbiome? We calculate that using our AI technology. So how do you integrate this into your practice? First is to initiate partnership. So apply for a provider account. Then you could do expert training with us. And then you could further integrate this microbiome test into your clinical practice. Now it's time to review the report. This is a review of the ILIA microbiomics test. This is shotgun whole genome sequencing test. And so with this test, we have a overall health score at the top here with our various domains listed below here and how they are scored. And I'll get to those domains later on. We have an overview of the scores of the various domains and in terms of what they are listed here. Overall microbial species is listed here for this individual, 1,110 microbial species were detected. You see the spectrum of species broken down there. The microbial wellness index, so how does someone's gut microbiome compare to a group of people with healthy and unhealthy microbiomes? You can see where this individual is scoring here. Core microbial species is listed here as well. Community diversity, so how rich is their microbiome species? How many, how's the diversity of the individuals? So this is what richness, Simpson's index, and Shannon index is looking at, the distribution of the microbial species, the evenness. It's being scored here. So you can see if there's areas for improvement there. How resilient is the microbiome? There's various domains that we could look at that underlie resilience. So microbial diversity, functional stability, functional redundancy, stress response and adaptation, microbial interaction networks, and microbe host interactions. So we could see how these various factors, whether they're out of range or within range, are contributing to the resilience score. Really, you want good bacteria that have high resilience and not bad bacteria or bad microbes that have high resilience. That's the general gist of this domain here. And then we can see the different types of microbes. So archaeome, one important one is Methanobacter smithii. And so sometimes they contribute to methane production. So where does somebody lie on this spectrum? Mycobiome, so looking at various fungi. There's some good ones, some bad ones. Where's someone's microbiome with that? The mycobiome, and so microbes may be able to metabolize different mycotoxins, for example, aflatoxin, ochratoxin, zearalenone. And so how is somebody's microbiome equipped for that? That's listed here in this section. Viriome in terms of viruses and phages, which sometimes are good. And so how is someone's microbiome scoring for that? And then the good guys, bad guys. So probiotics, we have it scored here. So we have Akkermansia, your spore-based probiotics, bifidose species, lactose species, and you could see what was, if it was detected at all, and if it is detected, where does it fall within the range of detection, which is listed here. Fungal probiotics. Then we have your pathogen and parasite section. So these are bacterial pathogens, various different bacteria, fungal pathogens, viral pathogens. If it was detected at all, it's listed here. Other references, protist pathogens, different worms, parasites. So those are what are listed there. We have our antibiotic resistance panel. So some bacteria are resistant to antibiotics. That will be detected here in terms of what they are resistant to. And then we have our functional domains. And so how well is your microbiome to do these areas of function? So for example, we have digestion, fiber degradation, capacity, protein fermentation. How is your microbiome producing gas, fat metabolism, phytates, enzymatic function, nutrient generation. So how well is it producing butyrate, acetate, propionate, lactate, amino acids, B vitamins, vitamin K. You can see where it falls in the range there. Gut barrier integrity, butyrate, mucus degradation, LPS production, tight junction regulation, gut barrier related metabolism. We could see how the microbiome is affecting that. How well is your microbiome affecting inflammation? And so things like bile acid metabolism will affect that, hydrogen sulfide production, tryptophan metabolism, cytokine production, inflammatory related metabolism, you'll see that. And then we have our digital twinning protocol. So for this, we have our intake information from the individual based on their lifestyle, their diet, their supplements, previous health history. And we combine that with our microbiome information. And we have a database of several thousand interventions. And what we're doing is simulating, if we were to do those interventions, how would it favorably affect these functional domains and the overall health score? And so that is what goes into these recommendations. And so we have our various different recommendations here, such as, and they are ranked. So the most important interventions have the higher scores. So these 5s are the highest score for doing. The recommendation is listed here. There'll be various dietary recommendations, supplement recommendations, lifestyle recommendations, and then the domains of which these are being recommended for are listed here. And so we have that listed as a way to kind of figure out what to do based on the scores of this test, and a time to retest depending on the overall score is also calculated as part of this process. We also have our keystone microbes. These are the important ones for these individuals. And so you can see the abundance compared to the reference range there. And then we have the methodology section. So that is the ILIA microbiome test.